What's going on, Charles Boneston? I just came out with a video about just being vulnerable. And it was funny because I was getting out of the car and someone that I dated, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, just randomly came into my mind. And I'm like, I haven't talked to her in a while. And it's funny because the reason she came into my mind is because I think recently a photo came up on Instagram or something or Facebook or whatever, and it was her and a guy, and then you click on the profile and you see that she's dating this guy, and I left on good terms with her. If I saw her, we would hug and kiss, and not like that, but yeah, it was just I'm happy for her, and what's funny is that it felt like it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago that we were dating. And we didn't date for that long, but it was enough where she was a great girl and everything else. It just didn't work out. It just compatibility wise and everything else. But it felt so, it was like right there. It was so soon. And I look at our photos, like her and I took some photos, and then I looked at the date and I'm like, a year and a half. And one of the biggest things that I got from Gary Vaynerchuk is he says, interview or at least talk to old people. And he says every single one of them, and obviously you already know what I'm going to say, they regret what they didn't do and not what they did do. And that's so easy. That is so easy in the moment to think like, I have till tomorrow. I'm going to, and as Tony Robbins says, I should start my own business. I should go to the gym. I should ask that guy out. I should approach that pretty girl. I should ask for a raise. I should study. I should eat healthy. And as Tony Robbins says, they should all over themselves. And I'll tell this because most of my viewers are younger, is that I remember high school thinking that this would go on forever. And then I was in college and I said, this is going to go on even longer. And college went even faster because I had the greatest 4 years of my life. And even though 4.5 years. And one of the biggest things that I've noticed is this would be my senior year. This year would be my senior year a decade ago. A decade. 10 years ago. I thought 10 years, I thought people that were 31 were like maybe an hour and a half away from the grave. I was like, they are super old. I looked at my brother when I was 21, he was 31, and he was getting married. I was like, this guy is really old. Now he's 41 and I'm 31. So what I really want to say is time is running out. Time is running out. And I hope, I pray that you figure that out sooner than later. And you think to yourself, I think about this all the time. I always think, I'm going to be dead soon. I'm going to be dead soon. And you know what's funny? Is that every successful person knows how fast time goes. And they need to get as much done each hour, each minute, each second. So each day, each week, each month compounds. I literally look at it and I'm like, oh my God, it's already Tuesday, already Wednesday. And I really do pray you figure it out sooner than later, because every successful person says they knew they had a shortage of time. They knew how important it was to get as much done as you can. Look back when, whatever age you are, look back 3 years ago, 2 years ago, last year, how quickly that went. How quickly junior year went, or senior year, or sophomore year, or when you're 25 or 40 or 50. I'm telling you right now, the reason it's going faster is because technology, TV, there's so much stimulation. I've already talked about it. Human beings get as much stimulation in 1 week, as our ancestors got their entire lifetime. So what does that mean? Number one is they probably died of natural causes, or war, or famine, or disease, or starvation, or dehydration, or poisoning, or whatever. Or just like they cut their hand and it got infected and then they died. We die because of old age, but the problem is between that, we are so stimulated that we don't do anything. We're so stimulated. I looked on the train today. If someone had their phone, try this. This is really interesting. Try this tomorrow or even right now. Is that see how long you can go of observing people, of sitting in your own mind, of sitting there without stimulation, without music, without social media, without a book, without a Kindle, without TV, just sitting there out observing people. It is amazing. Even myself, who's more trained than the other person, still my reaction was to go for my phone. And I did not. But my initial reaction was to go for my phone. And that's why I say be an observer of the world. If you are not an observer of the world and you're subjectively, in other words, you're actively participating, you would have went for your phone and went online and blah, blah, blah. But you have to objectively say, why is this being triggered in my mind? It sounds, whatever in your mind. But to be honest, I think about it all the time. What made me eat this unhealthy food? What made me not go to the gym? Why is my mood down? And then I reverse engineer and I'm like, okay, don't do that again. It's the same thing with social media or going on my phone. Charles, do I really need to go on my phone? Like what on my phone? What literally happened in the last 60 seconds since when I put my phone away until right now that changed? And I'm telling you, you young people, it's even worse because your neck is down. And when your neck is down, your whole back starts arching because your neck has 5 pounds of weight directly on its right where the spine is. And the sedentary lifestyle and the unhealthy food and the lack of movement is just killing us. So, number one is you don't have much time. And number two is objectively go through the world. See who's negative, see who's not negative, see what works in your life, what habits, what routines, because you already have habits and routines. You're like, no, I don't have any habits. Yes, you do. If you look at your day, I think there's records of up to 85% of your day is already pre-planned based on your previous day or your previous week. You're driving the same way, you put on your clothes roughly the same way, you towel dry, you wash yourself the same way, you brush your teeth the same way. You wear roughly the same clothes. Nothing really changes in your life. But the problem is we don't know how short it is. So go out there. Be amazing. See how much money you can make. See how much influence you could do. See if you could become the captain of your team. See if you could become the best person in your league, in your city, in your state, in your country. It's like that's really what it is. And to be honest, at the end of the day, doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. I was reading a book, and this woman who's very influential in the book lost someone very close. And it's like that person left Earth. And they left prematurely because they died in a extreme sport accident. They were kayaking, their boat flipped, and it was rapids. I think they hit their head, and they went unconscious, and they drowned. And he was a huge influence on her. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even know the person. There's so many people on planet Earth. So make your dent. Make your ding, as Steve Jobs says. All right? Have an awesome day. Go out there. I pray. This is the last thing I'm going to leave you with, is that have death as a motivation. Have it as a motivation that says, I don't have much time. I need to move, instead of being fearful of it. All right? Have an awesome day. Talk to you guys soon. Subscribe to the videos.